Okay, let's get right into it. What if I told you that you could actually rewire your brain to crave studying? The same way it craves scrolling through social media. I know, it sounds kind of impossible, but this explainer is going to show you a method to do exactly that.
So let's just start with a huge question. Can you actually get addicted to studying? I mean, really. We usually think of addiction as this negative thing, right? But what if we could harness that same brain chemistry for something productive, something that actually helps us grow?
You see, the key to all of this is understanding one simple, powerful fact. Your brain doesn't really know the difference between learning astrophysics and watching a funny cat video. It only speaks one language, and that language is dopamine.
And that brings us right to the heart of the issue, what I call the dopamine problem. Why does studying so often feel like pulling teeth, while distractions feel so incredibly good? Well, it all comes down to a really simple and predictable chemical reaction inside your head.
Just look at this. This lays out the battle your brain is fighting every single day. On one side, you've got social media, a massive dopamine hit for pretty much zero effort. And on the other side, studying, a tiny little trickle of dopamine that requires a ton of effort. Now, your brain is designed to seek the best deal, so which one do you think it's going to choose like every single time?
And this is so important. If you struggle to focus, you're not lazy. You're not broken. Not at all. Your brain is just following its programming. It's seeking the path of least resistance to the biggest reward. But what if we could change the programming? And that's where we get to the good stuff. We can't fight our brain's basic wiring. That's a losing battle. But what we can do is hack its reward system. We can literally teach it to find studying just as rewarding as all those other instant gratification traps. And here is the secret that makes this whole thing possible. Most people think dopamine is the pleasure chemical, but that's not quite right. Dopamine is actually about the anticipation of pleasure. It's the chemical that says, hey, pay attention. If you do this thing, a reward is coming. And that reward prediction is exactly what we're going to manipulate. So, how do we do it? The technique is called dopamine loading. It's a simple 3-phase method designed to systematically retrain your brain's reward circuits. So here's the roadmap. First, we're going to create a dopamine deficit. We're going to make the brain hungry for a reward. Then, we'll prime it by building up that anticipation. And finally, we're going to amplify the experience by injecting small, strategic rewards right into the studying process itself.
Let's start with phase 1, deprivation. So before you even think about studying, you're going to spend 30 minutes doing, well, basically nothing. No phone, no music, no talking. It will feel boring. It might even feel a little uncomfortable. And that is the whole point. You're creating a dopamine vacuum, so your brain becomes desperate for any kind of stimulation, even studying. Okay, next up is priming. Just before you open your textbook, I want you to close your eyes for 2 minutes and just visualize yourself crushing your study session. Picture yourself finally understanding a tough concept or solving a hard problem. That simple act of visualization starts releasing dopamine because your brain is predicting the reward of success. It makes actually getting started so much easier. And finally, we have amplification. While you study, you're going to manually create a reward loop. Every 25 minutes or so, take a short 2-minute break. But, and this is critical, don't grab your phone. Just stretch, walk around, or drink some water. It's a small, low dopamine reward that tells your brain, see, this studying thing, it leads to good stuff. Okay, so that's the theory, but what does this actually look like in practice? Let's walk through a daily routine you can start using today to put this all together. This timeline shows how your whole day builds on this principle. You start by not touching your phone when you wake up, keeping your dopamine baseline low. Before you study, you do your 30 minutes of deprivation. Then you hit your study blocks, using priming and amplification. Notice that even lunch is screen-free. The entire day is about creating a pattern. Low stimulation, study, feel good. It's only in the evening that you strategically enjoy your earned high dopamine rewards, and even then with a limit. So to just quickly recap the key actions, keep mornings low dopamine. Get bored before you study. Use visualization and small, phone-free breaks during your sessions. Oh, and here's a fun one. After a good study block, literally give yourself a fist pump or say yes. It sounds silly, but it physically reinforces that feeling of a win for your brain. Now, I need to be completely honest with you. Getting started with this is absolutely the hardest part. So let's talk about what to expect in those first 5 critical days. Let's not sugarcoat it. The first 3 days are probably going to be miserable. Your brain is going to fight back. It wants its easy, cheap dopamine, and it will scream at you to go back to your old habits. You just have to push through it. And this chart illustrates exactly why it's worth it. As you can see, the first few days are all about high resistance. But then a tipping point happens. Around day 4 or 5, that resistance just plummets and genuine satisfaction starts to take over. This is when the magic happens. Your brain's dopamine baseline actually resets. It no longer needs extreme stimulation to feel rewarded. Suddenly, the simple act of understanding a new concept gives you a rush. Solving a problem feels like winning. You're not forcing it anymore. You actually want to do it. So the theory is clear, the routine is laid out, and you know exactly what to expect. There's only one thing left to do. Your challenge begins now. And don't think about forever or about being perfect. Just focus on this one number, 5. That's the entire commitment. 5 days to start feeling a real, tangible shift. So here's the challenge. Commit to the dopamine loading routine for those 5 days. That's it. Track how you feel. Notice the moment studying stops feeling like a chore and starts feeling like a game you're actually winning. And I want to leave you with this one final thought. Remember, you're not fighting your brain here. You're working with its fundamental chemistry. You are reprogramming it to serve your goals by simply taking control of the dopamine that's already there.